Today's story comes from a man who describes himself as strong-minded, patient, and deeply emotional, even though life has tested him in ways he never imagined. He is from India, married, and a father to an infant daughter he hasn't seen in months. What began as a long-distance love story slowly turned into a marriage filled with silence, ego clashes, cultural differences, and finally, separation. This is his story, shared anonymously, edited only for clarity, not for emotion. I know that somewhere in all of this, I am also wrong. I won't pretend I'm perfect. But today, I am genuinely lost, and I don't know what to do anymore. I met my wife through a common friend many years ago. At that time, she was already dating someone else and going through a rough phase. I supported her emotionally, helped her get out of that relationship, and then life took us in different directions. We lived in different states, and for almost 2 years, there was no contact at all. Then one day, unexpectedly, she called me regarding something about that same common friend. From that moment, we started talking again, slowly at first, then regularly. Years passed. After almost 3 or 4 years of reconnecting, I finally proposed to her, and she said yes. I moved back to the same city just to be closer to her. Like every couple, we had small disagreements, nothing serious. Over time, she started asking about marriage, and I kept telling her to wait for the right time. Not because I didn't want to marry her, but because I wanted things to be stable for both of us. After dating for nearly 10 years, we finally got married. I truly believed that this was the beginning of our real life together. But strangely, that's when everything changed. She changed in ways I never expected. She stopped respecting my family. And honestly, over time, it felt like she stopped respecting me too. I loved her before marriage, and I still love her now. That hasn't changed, and I don't think it ever will. One important thing I need to say is that she is South Indian, and I am North Indian. We both knew from the beginning that there would be cultural differences: food, language, festivals, traditions, ways of thinking. Still, we chose each other. I convinced my family, and she convinced hers. We married, knowing it wouldn't be easy. But after marriage, misunderstandings kept piling up. They could have been cleared if we talked properly, but neither of us handled it well. She expected me to take full responsibility for her family, to respect and care for her parents, which I did, genuinely. But in return, she refused to even speak to my family or friends. She never participated in festivals from my side. Slowly, frustration built inside me. I felt helpless, invisible, and exhausted. I stopped complaining after a point because I didn't want constant fights. But her bossy nature and my man-of-the-house mindset clashed often. Ego battles became frequent. I never raised my hand on her. Never. But emotionally, I shut down. That's how I cope when I'm hurt. If someone treats me badly, I go silent. I stop expressing emotions. I would sleep in another room and stop talking to her for 10 or 15 days. She never came back to check on me, never asked if I was hurt. Eventually, I would give in, make an excuse, and try to fix things again. This cycle repeated many times. After about 2 years and 8 months of marriage, we were blessed with a baby girl, our princess. During her pregnancy, I took complete care of my wife for almost 8.5 months. Toward the end, when delivery time was near and complications could arise, we decided it was safer for her to go to her parents' home. Since we lived alone and my hometown was in another state, I agreed without hesitation. After the delivery, I wanted to bring my wife and baby home, but she preferred staying at her parents' place. I respected that too. Months passed. She came home briefly for a few days, then went back again. One day, she suddenly asked me to clean the house and wash the curtains. I got excited, thinking she was finally planning to return with our baby. She didn't say anything. After a few days, she suddenly arrived. I was happy, but also heartbroken. I had always imagined decorating the entire street, playing dhol, celebrating my daughter's first arrival home like a festival. That dream was gone. She also brought her parents and decided they would stay in another flat in the same building. I didn't object. I tried to stay calm and cooperative. But one day, out of nowhere, she started shouting at me, loudly, while her parents were sitting in the hall. I requested her not to create a scene. Instead, things escalated. She slapped me. In that moment, I was so furious that I almost lost control myself, but I didn't raise my hand. Her father intervened and shouted at me. Her mother joined in. That night, around midnight, I left the house. Nobody stopped me. Nobody asked where I was going. I went to another state. After 5 or 6 days, I messaged her on WhatsApp, asking for pictures and videos of my daughter because I hadn't seen her in over a week. She sent them. Nearly a month later, when I returned to see my baby, the door wasn't opened. I was told I wasn't welcome. The police were called. I left again and went to my hometown. I stayed there for 2 months. We had no communication at all. When I finally came back and begged her to talk, I apologized, pleaded. She refused to even show me my daughter's face. That's when I found out she had already filed for divorce 3 months earlier. She was demanding heavy alimony and making false allegations against me and my family. Still, I went to her doorstep, not to fight, but to save our family, to protect my daughter's future. She refused. Her parents fully support her decision. Today, I am stuck between 2 impossible choices. I don't want to ruin my wife's life or my daughter's life by contesting the divorce. But I also cannot agree to a mutual divorce, because that would mean letting my daughter go forever. I have not seen my daughter since she was 3 months old. She is now 11 months old. I am a strong man, but every day feels like a battle. I wake up with only one thought, that one day she will come to me and say, "Daddy." That hope is the only thing keeping me alive. This story isn't about who is right or wrong. It's about silence, pride, broken communication, and a child caught between 2 adults who once loved each other deeply. We ask you, what should someone do when love turns into distance and a child becomes the only reason to survive? Is fighting always wrong? Or is giving up sometimes worse? This is the Untold Gist, where people share the stories they don't know where else to go with.